Clive Bull on LBC.
This is LBC. I'm Clive Bull with you till 10. And in fact, we're talking business now with the first in a series looking at how small businesses can help themselves online. This evening, we are looking at how to use social media to market and raise awareness of your business. Most of us use social media on a personal level, but knowing how to capitalise on your business's social media presence is crucial and can result in likes turning into profits. Let's talk now to Nicky Kriel, who's on the line, social media coach and trainer and author of How to Twitter for Business Success. Good evening, Nicky.
Good evening.
Well, tell us a little bit about this then. What's the first thing that a business should think about when putting a sort of social media strategy in place?
Okay, the first thing is quite often businesses set up Facebook accounts or Twitter accounts because everybody says that they should. And it's the wrong place to start. It's not, how do I get Twitter working? You need to start with what is your business objective or what is the main objective for using social media. And it has to have a business objective.
So you've really got put a bit of thought into it, not just sort of jump on a bandwagon.
Yeah, I think too many people are just jumping on because they think that's what they should do. And a few things like the three primary objectives you'd have. One is to increase awareness of your business, which for most small businesses, that's the category they fall into. To increase sales, which obviously would be a very different approach if your sales are your primary objective, or to build loyalty. So if you've got lots of loyal customers, to keep them there because obviously it costs less to market to existing customers already.
And you mentioned Facebook, but obviously there's so many different versions of social media out there. What are the options, and do you think that a business should try and get onto all of them?
Okay, there are so many and new ones starting all the time. You can't jump onto absolutely everything. You wouldn't have enough time in the day to do things. Obviously, Facebook is the biggie with 1.3 people, and about 60% of the UK market have got a Facebook profile. So in sheer numbers, Facebook is the biggest. But if you take any single one of them, you could probably make your business just concentrating on one. I'm not going to suggest that you only concentrate on one, but the other big ones are LinkedIn's got 330 million people on it. Twitter's got just under 300 million. Instagram's got 300 million. So the numbers are phenomenal, and I think most of us can't even comprehend how big the numbers are at the moment.
And is the demographic of the people who are on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn very different? And would that make a difference in terms of what kind of business you're running?
Yes. I think that there are three key things that you need to think about before you start on social media. Firstly, can you say your message, like who you are, who you help, and how you help them in one clear sentence? And the reason I get people to do this when I work with them is because it narrows your mind, because on social media things move really quickly and lots of people will waffle about what their business is about. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, do you know your customers? And lots of people say, I can, my customers are from babies to 95-year-olds, or I can do websites for any business, etc. And that doesn't work. You actually need to know exactly who your ideal customer is, and the clearer message you have. And by knowing your customer, there are certain social media platforms which are better to be on than others. So it really depends on your customer and where your customers are primarily hanging out.
Yeah, and are there other sort of classic mistakes that you come across?
Yes. I think a lot of people, well, firstly, they jump on to social media without having a strategy and without thinking about what they're doing. So they'll jump on something and then somebody says there's a new shiny toy or Snapchat, because the growing one, and so they jump on to Snapchat and abandon others. You need to have a clear strategy, and your social media strategy should be separate from the actual platforms that you operate. So it might be part of your strategy that these are the best platforms to use. but the social media platforms will change, and your business will change. So it's very easy for people to get very overwhelmed when they're on social media, and quite often they will start up several social media accounts all at once and then get overwhelmed.
So you've got to have some. Do you think you need to set aside a certain time in the day or give that job to a certain person just so that you make sure that the social media is properly dealt with?
Yeah. I'm just as an aside, I'm running a social media summit which is based on saving time for small businesses. This is in the 5th of March, because so many small businesses have this issue with time, because you can get lost in a rabbit warren of being on Facebook all day if you're a small business owner, which is not really helpful for your business, or getting lost in Twitter conversations and it's not doing things for your business. If you're very focused and you know what content you're going to put out, you can plan everything ahead, and you're quite strategic about it. You need probably, I say, you need about 15 minutes per platform that you're going to be on per day.
And is there a way, finally, of measuring whether it's actually working or whether you're wasting your time?
Yeah, it depends. I think you need to say, how will I know if this is working for me? And for most people, if you put it in normal language, and for most people will be, I will get more telephone calls in, or I will get more email inquiries, or I'll get more people converting from social media if people are tracking people the traffic to their website. So it depends on the business or what your main objective is, how you would measure it, because nobody really cares. A Twitter follower isn't money in the bank. A Facebook fan is not a customer. So it's actually what it does for you as a business. And so you need to have a very clear idea of what your business objectives for using social media are before you get started, so that you know how you're going to measure it. And if it's not working, that you can tweak it and make those differences. And it's so important to measure.
Interesting stuff. Thank you very much, Nicky Kriel, who is a social media coach and trainer, author of How to Twitter for Business Success. That was Nicky Kriel.